happy in their life. But how do we be happy? It's not by gaining the physical goods, what we get in our daily life. It's by realizing ourselves, getting control of ourselves. Plato declares that a wise man is happy in a state of slavery as well as in a state of freedom. So, this is what we must do. It must be the balanced state. We must not go both of the extremes. We must not be depressed and must not be totally excited. There must be the both ways where we balance our life and lead a successful one. So, in this one, self-realization is the main one. Self-realization is connecting with our source of being, the higher purpose of life. We have two lives in us, two people in ourselves. It's like there are two birds on a tree. One bird roams all on the tree, eats all the fruits, the bitter ones and the sweeter ones. But later, as soon as it sees the bird, which is sitting in tranquility on the tree, without eating any of the fruits, it realizes that it's happier to be like the first bird rather than roaming around and experiencing everything. So realizing our inner self is the most important one. The self is the greatest instrument God has given us. So first, rule yourself before you rule others. Alexander was the greatest conqueror we have ever known. He's conquered almost the world, but he had some disappointment in himself. He had something which was pulling him downwards. It was that he didn't realize himself, but wanted everything what was in the world. The first thing is, get yourself, then by which others benefit. It's not getting others first and leaving yourself to that. First realize yourself. So, man, it's us, is our friend as well as our foe. How is he our foe? The bad impulses which rise in our mind take us to bad actions which we perform. When later they ask us, why did you perform the action? You tell that, due to the impulse, I didn't have control on me. Why should an impulse rise in us? Get control of your mind, body and soul. The three things because of which we lag in our life. Lag, L-A-G. Lust, anger and greed. It's been given in the Bhagavad Gita. So take out the lag from our life and go forward. Because these three things, a man with greed goes around a thing and with all the lust of his soul, he tries for it. When he doesn't get it, he becomes angry. So, realize yourself first. Connect yourself with the God. You are the God. He is what is controlling you. It's not you. It's not the ego in you. Ego can be both ways. In the depression or even when you are happy. So, maintain a balance of ego. Don't have the ego. Be with everyone. You are the supreme self. You're shapeless. You're egoless. And you're the ultimate, you're the almighty, you can do anything and everything. Thank you.
Suppose you are in 9th class, right?
It's a 10th.
10th. Suppose you fail in 10th class, what will be your reaction?
So, if I fail in 10th class, like I try to make my mistakes which I have done. So that it's not like just education is our life.
Have you ever failed?
No, not till now.
Why?
So because I'm working towards my goal.
So
It's not like deviating about everything that goes around.
So
when
you say like if somebody is working towards the goal, they don't fail?
they may fail. They may fail sometimes. Many people do fail because of the outer external circumstances. Once you have control of yourself, nothing can disturb you because you just go. There are stones on the road, but if you have control of the bike, you can get your bike through the stones. You can get through the hurdles.
If at all you happen to fail, so how you react? And then what measures you will take?
Yeah, if I fail, like, I'll be depressed for a time because that's human nature.
Yes.
You can't prevent that because you work all through the year hard to pass in the exam. So if you fail, mend the mistakes what you have done. Think for a bit of time. Think for it. Like, would you want to study the class once again or start a new life afresh? Like, you can even, you can start doing social service or something, set up an organization. It's not like if you are educated with the books, you can perform anything in life. You must have the moral knowledge. What's happening in the world, the external world. It's not only about mugging up the subjects and going and becoming great or something. It can be, you can start a social service organization. Then, like, you can spread the message to the people. Like, you can tell the students who are still studying 10th to not do the mistakes which I have done.
Then you will shift to social service?
No, like, it depends, ma'am. Like, I'll even try to study the 10th again. Like, because I already know the subjects. So even a year goes waste, my reputation remains. If I pass 10th, I'll have something in the society. It's not like I'm just 10th fail. So I try to study as well as teach others about the mistakes I have done. Like, teach my brothers or sisters or anyone, so that they won't do the same mistake and repent after doing it.
Do you think that is the reality? What you told just now, that I try to teach my brothers and sisters that what mistakes I have done. They might come to you and say it on your face that you have failed. Why should I learn something from you? I am doing myself. I am doing better, and why should I come and learn from you?
No, I tell like it's not learning. You can't expect what happens in the future.
Learning is not in the sense that come and learn the subjects, taking ideas or whatever. But
Yeah.
do you think they will come to you? I mean, here telling is I'll tell my juniors, I'll tell my brothers and sisters, fine. But do you think that will happen practically?
Yeah, it depends how the person receives. It's the person to how we tell. Like, we can, while we are conversating with them, you can tell in the words itself. You can mix it up. It's not like you just bring them for a class of spirituality and tell them about. While talking, just will tell, yeah, we have to do like this. It's not just, while talking about sports only, you just mix it up everything, so that they won't do the mistake. Making it in an interesting way.
Thank you, Abhijit.
And I'm here to speak on what I understood from after reading the book Self-Mastery. Self-mastery, the word itself, self, tells about I. I here doesn't mean the physical self, it means the inner self. What is inside us. Sometimes when we see something good, we say, oh, wow, that's good. And when we see something evil, we say that's not good. What is that? That is the inner feeling that comes out of us. We need to know that sometimes when we get angry, why are we angry? That is because our physical self is not allowing our inner self to stop us. We need to conquer our inner self. That's the first thing which I learned from the Self-Mastery book. And we see that whenever we get angry, we shout at someone. And in anger, we lose our senses. And during that time, we don't think about what we are saying, to whom we are speaking, or what we are speaking. Afterwards, we repent it. That's the biggest mistake which we do. So we need to learn to take control over our senses, conquer ourselves, conquer our inner self. Not like if we try to control our anger. If we don't speak to anyone, still the anger stays inside us. We should not let that thought come in our mind that why should I be angry? Great people like Lord Buddha, they got that enlightenment because they had conquered the inner nature, the lower nature. They had thoughts like why should I get angry? They don't even touch them because they have conquered themselves. So the main thing which I learned was we need to conquer ourselves. After that, I learned that self is the biggest enemy and the biggest friend of a man. Yes, that is true, because whatever we do, our own works set our future. If we now study well, our future will be well. Like if we study well, we pass our 10th with merit, and then it goes on. And if we don't do it well, and it's our own mistake, blaming others won't help us. So whatever we do sets our future. So when we know that what we are doing, we don't need to blame anybody else. That is the second thing what I learned. And we should not allow external factors to affect us. Not they say, when somebody tells you something, just don't care about them. We don't need to care about them. But if we say, go, I still don't care about you, whatever you speak, that is a kind of attitude we have. We should not have that attitude. We should once at least think about what they are saying. Like, if they have said something bad about us. So we should think, is that really inside us? If we have that point inside us, we should try to change it. And if we are wrong, we should seriously try to change it. And if we are right, then we should not think about what they have said and go further in our way. That's all I'd like to say today. Thank you.
Achit, can you tell me 3 of your good strengths and 3 of your good weaknesses?
My strengths, I am very good in social group, like communicating and getting along with people. I'm very good at that. And sometimes even expressing myself, I express it well. And the third one could be that.
Only one.
Okay. And second one could be
I don't want that could be. I want those strengths.
Okay. I am a good artist, and then I even write a few poems. So that 3 could be my strengths. I express ones with others, and even I express my feelings through writing. And my weakness could be like, before coming on the stage, I was very nervous, what could I be saying? But one is nervousness, I get too nervous. And the second could be that when somebody tells me something, I just take it a little too hard on myself. That could be my second weakness. Third weakness could be getting along with new people. It takes time for everybody, it's human tendency, and me too. Thank you.
And then how you are conquering the anger in your life?
Yeah, that is a very important point. Even before, I used to get short-tempered very much. But I have learned that whenever I get angry, first I should stop for a moment and think why I'm angry. If that person is blaming me, I should wait till my anger cools down, like count 1 to 10, and then calmly explain that person that I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me where I'm wrong. And in other cases, like they say...
Have you done this counting, Rita?
Yeah, 2-3 times I've done the counting.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did work. Because when we are counting, we just deviate from the topic that I'm angry. So it calms us down and then we can speak.
It never worked for me.
Well, sometimes it might
Did
be...
you really do it?
Yes.
I should learn from you.
Yeah.
Achin, when Sir asked you your strengths and your weaknesses, I was very much focused when you were telling it. Your first strength, you said, was you're very good at mingling with people.
Yeah.
And the weakness number 3 was you are very bad in mingling with people.
Yeah. In
Contradicting
one,
statements.
actually, I mingle along very good with my age group people. When I meet somebody elder or younger, I'm a little bit stressed out, like how should I be and all such things.
But
if it's my age group, I get along very well.
okay, but do you think that is a negative thing of you, that you're not able to get along with people older to you or younger to you? I mean, what is the difficulty getting along with people younger to you?
I guess that's a difference in thinking. That's the only point. Like they have different.
I mean, let me clarify. Younger by what sense? How much younger?
Maybe 2-3 years younger.
2-3 years younger.
Most probably elder people.
Mostly elder people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they say, the generation gap and all such things are there. So it takes a little time for me mingling with my elders. But later on, I have lately I've tried to get over it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste, I am Aditya from Sri Aurobindo International School and I am going to talk about self-mastery today. Man's always in the pursuit of happiness. However, very few people know how to acquire it and recognize it when they actually have it. To retain and acquire happiness, one needs to master himself. This means that self-mastery is the only way to mankind. Self-mastery is the only way to mankind which leads us to eternal happiness. People think that by mastering a kind of martial arts or something, or any subject, it's the greatest position in the world. But they are wrong. Mastering ourselves, our emotions, is the greatest position in the world. For example, a feeling of hatred or anger may fill us up, and then we may do something violent which may cause harm to the others as well as ourselves. And but afterwards, when
Aditya, just a moment. While someone is speaking on the stage, we request all the other participants not to speak. Please listen to what others are speaking.
But later, when somebody asks us that why had we been so violent, we will not be able to answer it. This is because, and then only will we realize that violence was the cause of our outburst of our emotions. We may be making great plans for our life, great and impressive plans for our life, but we will not be able to go towards them. This is because we have not readied ourselves for it. We should overcome all the negative thoughts such as hatred, anger, etc. And then confidence and most of all happiness will be left in us. And thus, self-mastery is the key to happiness. And our mind and body are very much like untrained horses. They rebel against their masters, that is us. The mind and body are very much like spoiled children also, two spoiled little children. We give them whatever they want, but this must not be it. The mind and body must not control us, but we must control our mind and body. And another thing is that if you have a king-size comfy bed, it's very good.
but you should be able to sleep in any kind of condition. It means that you must be able to live in any kind of condition, in any time, in any place. And this is carried out to the extreme in India. And thus, you can see yogis in the Himalayas with barely any clothing on their bodies, sitting in snow and meditating. Thus, meditation is the one of the ways through which we can master ourselves. It gives peace of mind and also clears our thoughts. It gives a wide range of view, and thus we can overcome all the. We can master ourselves. Thank you.
Okay, you also can tell your 3 of your strengths and 3 of your weaknesses.
My strengths is that I can master. I can control my anger very easily. I'm very short-tempered like my father actually, but I can control my anger very easily. I do it by actually. I think that the person on the.
Okay, that is one strength.
Yeah, that's one strength, and another strength is that I sing very well. I'm a good singer, and the third one.
Okay.
I write well. I write stories.
Weaknesses.
Weaknesses, I'm kind of lazy. I'm lazy, but I'm working on it lately.
And you said just now that controlling the body,
Mm.
and you were telling you were lazy. So,
I mean, I can control my anger.
No, in your talk also, you said controlling the body and mind is one of the important things which everybody, a lot of people do,
Yeah.
great people do. So you said telling that you are lazy.
Yeah, I'm kind of not completely lazy. It means that when I need just a little push to do work, but when I start doing the work, I do it perfect.
When you start, you will continue doing that.
Yeah, I just need a little push.
Okay, what is the one thing that you feel that you should change to become big?
Change to become.
To become a good person, a great person, what is, tell me one thing.
I should be more responsible about my works.
Okay, so you identified that has to be.
Yeah, and I'm working on it.
And then you have mentioned that mind and body, they are not, if they are not trained, it is very difficult. So what measures you are taking to maintain your body?
Maintaining my body. I actually do yoga every morning. I meditate, as I told. That's it. I'm doing that every morning, early morning. 5
Recently
o'clock.
started or
No, I started it from last year.
last year? Very good. What about your mind?
Mine, I can control it from. Mine. I'm not doing anything lately. Meditation also helps in mine, right? As I told you.
If there are two things, two tempting things.
Mm.
One is, take for example, two things are there to do.
Mm.
One is going to a movie.
Mm.
Another one is attending some service oriented. Which one you prefer? Why you prefer?
I take this.
Both are very important for you.
Mm.
So very good movie. You are waiting
Mm.
since long, and then you got the opportunity to see. At the same time, that service also.
I'll choose a service oriented as I can help people, but the movie I can also get the CD and watch it afterward later. Service oriented, because of me, other people will get benefited, and it will make me happy.
Well, if it has come to movies, what was the last movie you saw?
Last movie I saw, I think, Barfi.
Barfi. What did you learn from it?
Barfi.
बर्फी एक अच्छी मिठाई है
Nee. Cheating people is really bad.
Okay, you
He's
learn
cheated. Barfi is cheated.
Barfi
I mean,
cheated or Barfi
I
cheated?
mean, the Barfi is not. It's not exactly cheated, but the police push. I mean,
No, don't tell me the story. I've seen Barfi 3-4 times on my system, so I want you to tell me what did you learn from that movie?
is to be happy always in any kind of situation. We must be happy. We must. I mean, we must not take the situation like the hard. Any other. The situation must not be taken light, but we must be cool and calm, just like Barfi did.
Thank you.
I have a question. Abhijit, right?
Aditya.
Aditya, I think you lied to madam when she said like movie and social service. At 9th class, do you really think that you can go to social service?
Yeah,
Or do you-
I'm not burning the firecrackers this year because of child labor.
Good. Congratulations.
Everybody, today I am here to speak on the topic self-mastery. Man thirsts for happiness. This has been told by many people recently. Man thirsts for happiness, but he does not possess the secret of acquiring it nor the power to retain it. We need self-mastery to control happiness, because if we lead to some uncontrolled emotion, we may commit a mistake and we will repent later. Even great people like Mahavir Hanuman, he committed Lanka Dahanam in a fit of emotion, but afterwards he was found weeping. He thought that during his act, Sita Mata could have been hurt and his very purpose of the visit could have been wasted. If it is tough for him, it will be tough for us also, but it is not impossible. We can try to control our mind. In Kathopanishad, Yama said to Nachiketa, if people are not trained, if their mind and body are not trained, they will be like, they will want to eat, sleep, be famous and rich. This is called preyas, and this will lead to destruction and death. This will lead to destruction and death, as a chariot yoked by uncontrolled horses is guided by an untrained charioteer. But if very few people realize that the world is transient and they choose the ennobling path of Shreyas, that is goodness and service over acquiring material possessions. Self-mastery is much more important, and we can get more happiness by acquiring it rather than by getting all the earthly possessions. Sri Krishna said, having come to this transient, joyless world, remember me. We are all supposed to, I'm not telling this that we all can do it, but we can all try pranayama and a little of yoga exercises. Normally, whenever we get angry, first we should try to control our breath. As our breath rate increases, breath rate decreases, we start feeling calm, and then we are able to think rationally. Whenever some person tells me like that, I try to think whether he is telling for the good or bad for me. If he is right, then what else can I improve? But now we should not be very lenient too, because sometimes they keep troubling you because you don't react. You should not. You should take the good for your benefit, and if they are telling something bad and that is true, that also you should take. But if it is not true, you try to explain it to them that, see, no, you are wrong. I am trying my best to help here. And also Swamiji also once said, a person who is free, a person who has conquered his senses, he is the person to live in this world. Thank you. I am Aditya SV from BSRKV 9C. Jai Hind.
Yeah, Aditya, tell me recently what is a very good thing that you did in your, like something that you did very good and you liked it, something, some incident or something.
That would be donating money to trust for welfare.
So what are the worldly things you have acquired? You give importance for acquiring?
Knowledge, books, and
Worldly. You told two things to be acquired. One is worldly, the other one is?
One would be like television and radio and computers. They are important. But after that, we need to control. TV should not be used for uncontinuous. Just to know what's happening around you, so that you know. And whenever you go out, you're careful. If there's any mob around, you need to be careful. Otherwise, you go somewhere and suddenly something happens, it will be risky. So just for knowledge and.
So what are the self-mastery skills that you have acquired?
Self-mastery, I cannot say I have acquired,
You
but
want to acquire.
I can try. Because mostly now at this age, I don't think self-mastery is very easy, because we have a lot of temptations, it's very difficult to resist. And we can try first by controlling our breath and pranayama, a little of yoga.
So for temptations, it is not possible?
It is possible, but it is little tough. Because just like...
Then what you are supposed to do if it is tough? If it is possible, tough?
we should
control?
try. We should try to control it. We cannot say that we will always succeed because failure is common to everybody, but if we fail, we should learn what points are there and try to better it up.
Aditya, while you were speaking, I was completely listening to you because I felt you were speaking really nice. You were speaking really good. I mean, adding the quotes of Bhagwan Sri Krishna and other things. You said about that uncontrolled chariot, right? What is the uncontrolled chariot in yourself?
Uncontrolled chariot is the mind
In you. In you.
in us.
In you, not in us. In you.
I did not understand your question, sir.
What do you understand by uncontrolled chariot?
So like desires, thoughts.
Desires, thoughts, which you're not able to control and you want them. What are those things in you? What are the things that you can't control?
Going for a movie and
Okay.
chatting with friends, and also TV mostly. Those things I cannot control.
You cannot control. But a few minutes back you were telling that one must learn how to control watching
Yes, sir,
TV.
I can try. I can't say that I'm perfectly controlling it, but now I have.
You have started to learn how to control. Okay, good. Thank you.
One who is his own friend is a friend to all men. Hariom and a very good morning to all of you. I am Kalyani Alekhya of class 9, here to represent Chinmaya Vidyalaya. When one looks into himself, he finds a treasure trove of knowledge waiting to be explored. But is this knowledge even acquirable? Is it even possible? It is possible only through immense self-control and tolerance, both of which pave the road for a perfect human being. One, man is his own friend and man is his own foe. But would someone knowingly want to be their own enemy? One is his own enemy when he is out of control due to anger, grief, or hatred. Anger is an obsession, hatred a curse, and grief is a pain, none of which any of us want to experience. But due to anger or jealousy, a person can change so much that it might be impossible for us to even recognize them. Trust yourself, be confident, control your emotions and your anger. Gautama Buddha once said, "A controlled mind will do greater good to a man than man himself." People who live for others' opinions and ideologies never come up in life. When one does a good thing wholeheartedly, what others think hardly matters. To acquire what you think you cannot acquire is really to acquire. Be positive. Observe the thoughts that come to your mind. Are all of them positive? I don't think so, because it is human tendency to think negative and positive. Try to take only the negative, try to develop the negative and eradicate the positive. Try to develop the positive and eradicate the negative. Be positive and never lose confidence and trust in yourself. Losing of faith can be the easiest way to demoralize yourself. Never demoralize yourself. Out of the past is born the future, said Swami Vivekananda. Never lose faith, never lose hope, never give up and never surrender. And one day the goal you want will be yours. Master your mind and master your intellect. Never lose faith. Always trust yourself, because what you think matters to you more than what others think. If you think you are right, debate it. Are you really right? Because if you think you are right, you might be right. If someone else says you are wrong and you think you are right, think it over. If you think you are right, stand up for yourself. Believe in yourself. And never bother if the other person says you are wrong, because according to you, you are right. That's it. Thank you.
You prepared only the book, or you just are reading from that? How was it like?
I have read the book and I have made a speech on what I have understood from it.
Suppose if I had to say, like, tell me one very good thing that you can do. Suppose you want to do some social service.
Yeah.
What is the best thing that you can do to start a social service?
To do a social service, I think the best thing one can do for my age is visit an old age home, because there people are like my grandparents who don't have anyone to talk to, and it's a fabulous experience because I've experienced it.
Okay, tell me something very practical that you can do today as a best social service in your life? Did you understand my question?
Yeah.
Can I repeat in Telugu also?
Yeah, sure.
మీకు సంబంధించిన వరకు బెస్ట్ సోషల్ సర్వీస్ ఈ ఏజ్ లో, యువర్ 9th class, right?
Yeah.
ఈ ఏజ్ లో మీకు సంబంధించిన బెస్ట్ సోషల్ సర్వీస్ ఏది?
Teach someone who doesn't know how to read. Like I started teaching the person who sells vegetables at my house to read English. Because he's finding it difficult to converse with people who don't know Telugu. So I think the best way would be to teach someone to read and write, and maybe spend some time with people who don't have anyone to talk to and have loads to talk.
I'll modify my question. Tell me something very practical thing which you can do today at your age, at your class, as a social service in your life. ఇప్పుడు మీరు చెప్పినవన్నీ కూడా they are all not practical for you. You will never do it.
I have done it. I have done it.
You did it, is it?
Yeah.
But what is the best thing that somebody can do, which everybody can do? Let me put it
Everybody can do.
because everybody talks about social service and they forget something in that social service. What is that?
I think social service is all about helping people, but to be able to
Who
help
is that
people
first person? Who is that first person to be helped?
ourselves.
Are you doing it?
Yes.
Without, without doing that, if you are trying to help others, is it called a social service?
It's not called social service because to be able to help others, you have to first
Suppose,
help yourself.
my idea of asking you is, suppose I want go to a old age home and help old people. I have some more old people in my house. Without helping them, if I go there, is it called a social service?
It's not called social service because if you are ignoring the people at home, like if you're ignoring your own grandparents and going and trying to help someone else, it really doesn't make sense.
So you understood that, right?
Yeah, I've understood.
Then what is the positive attitude, negative attitude you are telling about? What really it means?
A positive attitude means confidence, courage in yourself, and believing and standing up for your ideologies and values. The negative attitude is easily being swayed by others' opinions and getting easily demoralized when someone is trying to do it on purpose.
With one example
In my life?
explain in your life, positive attitude.
A few days back, I have experienced when a classmate of mine was trying to talk negative about me. But then I was actually able to stand up for what I believe because I believe that she's wrong and tried to talk it out with her instead of getting angry and yelling and stuff.
Tried that?
Yeah, I have tried it. It hasn't proven to be 100% successful, but I can assure you it has been like 65% successful because
So
at
what
least she has understood.
65% change you have
At least she
observed?
has understood what I'm trying to talk, and it hasn't resulted in us not becoming friends and having a cold war and all. It has resulted in at least being amicable to each other.
No, not in her, in you tell.
In me,
Positive
I've actually learned to take people's criticism and not think that something is wrong with me when people are criticizing, and that they just found a flaw in me which they want me to improve.
But in your speech, I am observing that always you are telling somebody finds fault or you are right, you are telling all the time. Is it so?
You are right if suppose my value says that I'm not supposed to lie, but then if someone else has a different ideology, it depends on their mindset, and what I think depends upon my mindset. According to me, if I'm right, I have to stand up for it. And if someone actually comes and explains to me, no, it's not like this and it's this, and what they say makes more sense, I have to be able to change my attitude in the right way because that is the symbolism of a person with a big heart and a person who is actually ready to observe his or her mistakes before observing people's mistakes.
Well, I'll give you a simple case study.
Yeah.
So just listen and then answer. You finished your 10th, you finished your intermediate, you got a very good score, okay, 90 plus percentile, okay, and now you want to join a college.
Okay.
Suppose, consider engineering, if you're interested in, what are you interested in?
Business.
Business. Suppose you want to join a business school, okay, you want to do your BBA, Bachelor for Business Administration, and now what happened was, you shortlisted a few colleges, and somehow you try to speak to some seniors or pass outs and all. Those people say there are many drug addicts in this college and all that kind of thing happens in college. What is your reaction?
At first, my first thought would be, is it true? Because
It is true.
It is true.
It is true.
Then I would think that just because a few people in the college are drug addicts and indulge in wrong things, doesn't mean the college is wrong. It means the people have gone wrong, and that it's the mindset of people and what they think, and it's nothing wrong with the college, but it's wrong with the people who are in it, and I would try to be far away from such company.
Okay, but won't you think that management is not doing anything for that issue?
It depends whether the management knows or not.
Why don't the management knows what is going on in this college?
Yeah, but then it depends on what extent it is going. If it's a very minor extent, there might be a few warnings. But since I have not yet joined the college and I'm just taking it from a few pass out and the seniors, I might not exactly know what is going on because I haven't seen it for myself. But once I have seen it, I might try to do something.
Sum it up. What you told us now.
Just because our college has a few number of drug addicts and a few people who are doing the wrong things doesn't mean the college is wrong. And second thing is that it's not the college. It does spoil the reputation of the college that people like that are in the college. But it doesn't mean the college is a bad college and that the people who and that the teachers and lecturers who teach there are irresponsible or something. It's just that people who study there are indulging in the wrong things that has to be corrected.
That was a big summary. Thank you.
Self-mastery. And self-mastery itself say that you need to know about yourself and then control of your mind. You need to have a control of your mind, your actions, everything. And if you have, you need to have a control on doing wrong things and doing correct things. What I have learned from this book given to me is I need to have a control on my mind, on my actions, what am I doing. And I need to always go on a positive side. Do not think at the negative side what I'm doing. If suppose a man has done wrong, it is because he have thinking in a wrong direction. So I need to always think in a positive direction, and I need to have a control on my mind because it needs to follow me. And
tell me two of your strengths. Three strengths and three weaknesses.
My strength is I can do maths very well, and I can sing very well.
That's all academic strengths. You have some good academic strengths. Apart from that.
I'm very responsible to whatever I do. And
okay, weaknesses.
Weaknesses is I'm very nervous.
Okay.
As if I'm now.
Yeah, we will see that.
I'm very nervous and I'm bad at English.
Okay.
In grammar especially. And
okay. The next question I have is who is the best person? I mean, who is a better person? Person who have lot of weaknesses, or a person who have weaknesses but somebody who didn't realize those weaknesses? Who is a better person in these two?
who realizes?
See, there are two people. They both have equal amount of weaknesses.
Okay.
One person has not recognized his weaknesses. He only recognized his strengths.
Okay.
He never recognized his weaknesses. There's another person who may not know his strengths at all, but he understood all the weaknesses that he has.
First person, sir, because if we realize the weaknesses.
No. First person is a person who didn't recognize the weakness at all, only recognize his strengths.
Okay, if we recognize our strengths, we can,
No. Who is a better person in this?
First person.
First person.
Who
Why?
is ignorant of
Because if we know about our strengths, we can do perfectly on that. And if we know our weaknesses, we still try on that, because there may be some people who still,
Then
worry.
what is realization then? Realization is what? You are not able to realize your weaknesses. Then what is the meaning of the realization?
It's wrong. Actually, you need to realize your.
Then who is a better person in these two? You understood my two persons?
No, so can you repeat?
A person he has some strengths and weaknesses, but this guy understood his strengths only. He never bothered about his weaknesses at all. And the second person also has strengths and weaknesses, but he never bothered. He never recognized his strengths, but he knows that he has so many weaknesses.
It
Who
depends.
is a better learner in these two?
Second person.
Thank
Second
you.
person.
He has started your speech saying that one should know about his own self, isn't it?
Yes.
And then should have control over actions and also thoughts,
Yes.
isn't it? So if at all some thoughts come to your mind, isn't it?
Yes.
And then how you are controlling if they are bad.
If they are bad, I need not think about it. I need to eradicate it. If any good thoughts come, I need to practice on that. I need to work out it. And if I'm excel in that, I need to.
Bad thoughts are repeatedly coming, disturbing you, tempting you, what you will do?
No, I'll eradicate it. I'll try to eradicate it.
How you try? What are the means?
First of all, I practice to control those bad thoughts, and do not go to it. Do meditation.
It will come. You don't go to them also, they will come to you.
I'll find out the reasons why those thoughts are coming to me, and I'll eradicate.
While you were speaking, you made a statement on controlling things, and you said that controlling on doing wrong things and control on doing correct things. The second part is very much doubtful to me, so I wanted to explain the second part, controlling on doing the correct things.
Controlling on doing wrong things because
You said control on doing correct things also.
actually we need to control our mind from doing wrong things, and we need to practice whatever we are good in it.
No, that is very much understood, that you will do that, I'm 100% sure about that also. But you said the statement, control on doing right things. I noted this down when you said it. So I just wanted to know what is that control on right things when you said it in your statement? Or was it just by mistake it came out?
Yes, by mistake.
Just by mistake. So
Yes.
you seriously don't want to control the right things you're doing?
Control the right things is up to the mark we need to do it, not very higher and not very lower, up to the mark.
Up to the mark. So it should be like maintainable.
Maintainable.
Okay, thank you.
On a simple basis, it is not to attain this. To look at the faraway stars, we need a perfect instrument such as the telescope. In the same way, to attain self-mastery, we need a perfect instrument which has been described in the Indian Vedas as tapas, or the mortification. Mortification is the process by which we gain self, by which we give discipline to our body and bring our whole being into a state that it can help us, using the body, mind and spirit. So this is the secret to self-mastery that most leaders have followed, including Swami Vivekananda. It is not, we have to sit involuntarily and focus all our thoughts to one special thought, and this has to be practiced regularly, no matter how much it discomforts us. So I would like to conclude by saying that self-mastery is something that would surely help us in our lives, and we must try to practice.
Have you ever thought earlier before going through this book about self-mastery?
Yes, I have thought about self-mastery when I was in Institute of Human Study.
What do you practice as to make yourself be a self-master of yourself?
I am in a stage that I am trying to do it. I am not perfected self-mastery.
Is this not the right stage when you should initiate?
I have initiated already, but I have not perfected it completely. So
I'm not asking you perfected. What are you following as?
I am trying to control my thoughts. I meditate regularly, and I am trying to control the words that I speak, not to use language that is inappropriate, and to control my thoughts to the goals that I want to achieve.
Is any kind of physical exercise also help to control your mind?
Yes, so physical exercise does help because it tires our body and makes us more strong. Makes us more strong to face situations, makes us confident.
Anybody want to ask any question?
You mentioned self-control as one of the facets to attain self-mastery, right? Tell me in 3 points what you do to imbibe that aspect of self-control of yourself. Just 3 words, 3 actions that you do.
I meditate regularly. I study about self-control so as to learn the methods of doing it.
Study? Got it, thanks.
You can control your body in all situations. In all situations. It is a broad term that covers many aspects of your personal and professional life. For example, first thing is your goal. Self-mastery starts with a vision of how you express your goals and how it is going to be, how you reach your goals. And next comes your attitude and emotion. Your attitude and emotion play a major role in self-mastery. If the person who shows stronger self-mastery don't let their emotions control him. Instead, he controls his own emotions. Next comes willpower. Willpower leads to success. If we have willpower, we can achieve anything, especially your personal goals. Let me conclude by saying, thank you.
Nervous? Have you read the book?
No.
Liked it?
No.
What are you doing to master yourself?
Sorry?
What are you doing or you learned to master yourself? This is self-mastery, is it? Self-mastery is for yourself, not for me. Is it? So what have you learned? Just simply forget about all those things. Forget about your nervousness. Come down.
Control my mind.
Just tell me what you understood by this book and what impact it made on you.
Self is ourself and mastery is mastering myself.
Yes.
Training my mind, training my
Yes.
spirit is self-mastery.
How?
Like, if I want anything I'm fond of chocolates. I can't eat many chocolates. So if my mother tells me, I couldn't control myself. So if once I read this book, I can control myself, controlling my mind, that my health will be, I can fall in.
Starting from chocolates to?
Chocolates to chocolates.
No studies? Watching TV?
Yeah, I don't
Sitting
watch
on
much.
net? Saying phones?
No, I don't have a phone.
Very good. Want to ask something? Good.
Yeah.
Just right now, just try to control your speed also. Okay? You will understand. Come.
You said courage is important. How does courage play a role in self-mastery?
To control yourself, you need courage. You can't.
What do you understand by courage?
Courage is self-confidence and being fearlessness.
Then, what's difficult in it? See, answer.
Fearlessness is courage.
How is it? If you are fearless, it is definitely going to help, is it? Will you remember? Practice. Okay? Anybody?
Pranams to judges and my friends. Good morning, I am Ritvik. Going to tell about the topic given to self-mastery. What is self-mastery? Self-mastery is not a thing which can be acquired from others, but it's a thing which we reflect upon ourselves and develop it. Self-mastery is nothing, in a simple term, it's gaining a mastery over ourselves, our emotions, and controlling our emotions. It's a thing which helps us to develop, it leads to overall development of human being. A person may be angry, he might come under the hatred or uncontrolled emotions and might behave not in a proper way. But he will regret his whole life saying that I have been guilty and I have committed this mistake. But when we ask him, why have you done such a thing, he'll simply reply that, I have done it spontaneously. I have not thought upon it or reflected at that moment of time. So what is lacking here? He is lacking self-mastery over himself. Self-mastery, as considered by great individualities, mainly comes to self-discipline. That is the way we control ourselves, with the way we behave with ourselves. There is a parody saying that a laborer who works on his field, watering it the entire day, and later he finds out in the evening that the water has been mainly gone through rat holes and it has been not consumed by plants. So similarly, a person, how much ever he speaks in an appealing way or has achieved a good status in the society, if he doesn't have a mastery over himself or have the basic qualities required to be good, such as having patience, forgiveness, so if he doesn't have these things, he might not master himself. So in other way, he might not achieve success as he would like to do in the society. I would like to conclude my speech saying that Roman philosophers had said that stand on your legs and be erect by yourself, not be erect by the help of others. So self-help is the best help, so reflect upon yourselves to gain self-knowledge.
To learn self-mastery, you need to depend on somebody.
Self-mastery, I meant to say...
Is it coming from inside, or is it that you are learning from the environment, this?
I meant to say that if I want to master myself, then I have to reflect upon the qualities that I am not good at. Suppose I am naturally a little bit tempered. So now if I reflect upon it, thinking that why can't I be normal, why can't I have patience, and if a person even scolds me or passes a harsh comment on me, if I have the mastery over myself, if I control my mind, then I can be normal and not like
If the person keep on saying again and again,
then I would appease to him in a normal way, saying that this is not the right thing you are doing. Since I have mastered myself, you can also do that. So you can also not scold others.
Is it controlling ourselves or advising somebody?
It is controlling ourselves. Because first, if I have controlled myself, then only I can advise others. So.
Anybody? Thank you.
There's no king like him who is the king of himself. This means that there is no person like him who has mastered himself. Good morning. I'm Srinivas from Bharati Vidya Bhavans. Now, many of my friends who are here are speaking about self-mastery, and some of them have provided possible options to acquire it. I would like to focus on one particular thing, self-realization. I believe self-realization is one of the most important aspects of self-mastery, and it is like the pavement for it. Without self-realization, it is very, very hard and almost impossible to gain self-mastery. What self-realization means to me is knowing my faults, where I'm not good at, where I'm very good at, and focusing on the points where I'm not good at and trying to improve myself each and every second of my life. Also, there are many more important factors of self-mastery. One is staying in balance. There is a thin line between good and bad. We should know where we stand. It's not only about listening to others and knowing what they know, but it is about thinking ourselves. Thinking, are we doing it correctly or not? I'm really sorry, that's fine.
It's okay, you go ahead.
It's also thinking about what is correct, what is wrong. I don't believe thinking yourself gets you self-mastery. You have to take advices from those people who are around us. There are many great personalities who have achieved self-mastery. I believe knowing more about them would help me even more. Finally, I conclude by saying self-mastery is the greatest favor that a person can do to himself. And I believe all of us should strive to achieve it. Thank you.
How much concentration helps to self-mastery?
Ma'am, I'd surely answer that if you tell me how to measure concentration, ma'am. Because concentration, we can measure how much concentration do we require to do something. It's just that how much focus we have and how much do we want to do that thing. All that combines to a concentration in doing something. Not like you need to have this much percentage of concentration to do a particular thing or something like that.
Where were you concentrating, on your speech or on your telephone?
Ma'am, till the moment the ring started, I was obviously concentrating on my speech, but then I got a little embarrassed because in fact my mobile was disturbing my own speech. So I really apologize for all of you for that disturbance, and sorry for the inconvenience.
You don't have to measure concentration,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Physical concentration. If you have gone through the book,
Yes.
right? Yes. So there is a mention about physical concentration.
Yes.
So what does that mean? Physical and mental concentration.
Okay. Maybe let's take a situation here. I'm in a race. My mind is completely focused on winning it, but I might have an injury in some part of my body. Then, if it's hurting or something, I have to concentrate on letting that hurt aside and concentrate on winning rather than thinking, okay, I'm hurt, I don't want to do this, it'll hurt me even more, let me try this the next time. I don't think that is a correct way of thought. Rather, we should put aside all the difficulties that we have and concentrate on what really is in our mind. So all the physical aspects of our body will also be doing that. What's what you mean?
Mental concentration?
Mental concentration while you're studying, ma'am. There are many factors that disturb you. Like, for example, there is someone in our house watching TV. Most of us, I bet, are going to get attracted to watch the TV. But that is where mental concentration comes in. If you know how important it is to study, then we won't get distracted to watch TV. We will completely concentrate on studying and rather than getting disturbed.
You mentioned that there is a very thin line of difference between good and bad, and you should know where you should stand, okay? On this point, as a leader, okay, where would you prefer to stand?
Ma'am, it obviously isn't the good part because, see, if I'm mad, I'm pretty sure no one is gonna accept me as the leader, number one. And number two, even if I have some good reforms or anything, they won't accept it because I'm not a good person by heart.
What do you mean by being a good person here? Does it mean when you're a leader, you're leading a team of people to their goal, you have to be a little stern, you have to be a little controlling. So does that make you to be a bad person?
Ma'am, again what you're asking comes down to self-mastery. You need to understand to what extent you need to be stern and to what extent you need to be lenient. Because if you're over stern, then...
We don't understand anything. We want how much you have understood.
Yes, ma'am. See, I need to know. I mean, in a particular situation, I need to know how stern I have to be on the person who's in front of me. I mean, it could be anything, personal grudge, or I have to keep it aside, and I have to make sure that, he's not over-punished for what he's done. Thank you.
There's a question.
Yes.
As just now ma'am said, you said that there's this thin line between what is good and what is bad. You said we have to know where we are standing. How would you calculate that where are you standing, in a good position or a bad position or in the line? How would you know that?
It all depends on how much we understand the situation and how much we understand what we are doing at that particular moment.
What? Next, Sampath. Thank you.
A very good morning, judges, elders, and my dear friends. Today we have come here to tell about self-mastery. It was written by Swami Paramananda. Self-mastery means self-master. And self-master and self-leader is everyone throughout the world, is inside everyone throughout the world. And you should realize it. When you realize it, you will become a good master and good leader. And a master and a leader should have conviction. Then only he can guide others. And the present mind and our body is like an uncontrolled horse, and you should learn to control it. Then only you can reach your goals. You can reach your goal. goals, and everyone. Thank you.
Did you like the book?
Yeah.
Read it?
Yes.
Complete?
Yeah.
When? When?
I read it when Swamiji gave me the book. Till that, from that day I read it.
What did you like?
I like that, right? To become about self-mastery and your friend and the foe. I like this so much because your friend and the foe is the correct one. And your two eyes are like one eye is your friend and one eye is like a foe. One eye will tell that to see the good one and you should be friendly with anyone. One eye will say he's our enemy, don't talk with her, don't see him, like that.
So, have you understood something and then learnt and then going to practice?
Yeah, I'm going to practice it. Like I'm going to practice it like when you aim the higher, you'll reach the higher, like that.
Okay, thank you. Next, Sanjay.
A pleasant morning to the respectable judges and my dear friends. I'm Sanjana of 10th standard from Geethanjali High School. I'm here to air my views about the topic given to us, that is self-mastery. In order to gain self-mastery, we need to know what is self-mastery. It means having strong control over one's actions and their ideas. And also, self-mastery is very essential in order to maintain social order as well as maintain harmony and helpfulness in the household. If a person is not self-mastered and he has all the fine things in his life, then what is his use? It is in vain. So self-mastery is very essential. We can gain it through self-exertion and self-abandonment. We are only our friends and we are only our enemies. The man who has conquered himself is his friend, and who has not conquered himself is his enemy. A real conqueror is not a person who has conquered the whole world, but he is a person who has conquered himself. So there are various steps to gain self-mastery. Actually, self-mastery gives us the wisdom, where in all circumstances we can depend on our own strength. Some of the ways which we can gain self-mastery are, while performing some asanas, we can maintain physical balance, and reading sacred books as well as daily meditating gives us mental stability. With all these things, we can gain self-mastery. So finally, I conclude that anger, lust, and greed are the wicked gates for hell. So please, we should leave them back in order to gain self-mastery. Thank you.
Does it mean that you should not have any feelings?
A little bit specific.
Should you be like a stone or a block of wood to master yourself, self-mastery?
Not like that, but we have to be wholeheartedly. We should dedicate ourselves to God as well as others also.
How should your emotions be, feelings?
We should only master them. We have to control them according to the various situations.
You mentioned that you can gain self-mastery by either self-exertion or abandonment, right? Why did you mention that, why did you specify abandonment? Do you mean that by isolating yourself from the rest of the world and sitting in a corner and, introspecting yourself as the only thing to do, you can become a master of yourself?
No, that means we have to concentrate on what we are doing because our purpose is to master ourselves, so we have to concentrate on ourselves other than the whole world. Thank you.
What did you mean by abandonment? What you understood by abandonment?
Abandonment actually means actually to give up.
What you want to give?
All the worldly pleasures, all the worldly goods which give us just happiness, but not real happiness.
You can go and study in government school also. how much money you are spending in going to private school? Is it not helping? Money is not helping?
Money is just needed for life, but money is only not the life.
Where do you draw the line?
Anything to eliminate.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, someone.
Yes. Cut short, only one question.
Yes, ma'am.
We can, anybody can hear.
Yes, ma'am.
You are very loud.
Yeah. So you told that in various situations, you use the various emotions such that you can gain self-mastery. But can I ask you, just name one situation where you will be using anger and lust as the emotions to gain self-mastery. You told that under various situations, you will be able to control your various emotions to gain self-mastery. So please name any situation where you will be able to use anger and lust to control them to gain self-mastery.
We can't gain self-mastery if we are anger. We have to control it in order to gain self-mastery.
Yeah, but according to you, you can use them in various situations.
Actually, I'm not understanding your question. Once again, please.
You, as an answer to their question, you told that under various circumstances and situations, you can use the various emotions, and instead of being emotionless, you can use the various emotions to gain self-mastery. So how are you going to use anger and lust under any given situation to gain the self-mastery?
They are only the obstacles to gain self-mastery. So with those, how can we gain?
That is what she understood. Okay? Thank you.
Yes.
Anybody? Yes. Ask. Wait. Sanjana. One more.
You just said focusing on yourself and not focusing on anything else in the world will help you gain self-mastery. But I don't understand how not focusing on anything else and by that way not learning anything from anybody or anything will help you.
I doesn't mean that meaning. But actually, suppose if you are writing an exam, your concentration should be on what you are writing, but not how others are writing and who all are copying. We should have a concentration on ourselves, not than other persons. That's what I mean.
Okay? Right. Got your answer. Sharanya.
I'm Sharanya Fine from Gautam Model School RTC. And I'm here to say you something about the given topic, self-mastery. What is self-mastery? Self-mastery is nothing but mastering yourself with your inner faith, hard work, and the thing which you have in that self-confidence which you have in that. Self-mastery is nothing but being a leader in ourselves and encouraging ourselves by our self-confidence. To keep our mind pleasant and our body pleasant, we need happiness, and happiness is the important role of our mind, and it is also a very important role for our body also to keep in a controlled manner. The thirst of happiness is a very common instinct in all the mankind. We should be helpful, truthful to everybody, and we have to be self-mastered when we have any situation or when we are in trouble. Self-mastery is nothing but having faith and having hope and being a leader in ourselves. Self-mastery, first of all, if you have to have a self-mastery, you have to set a goal and you have to know what you have to and what you want to achieve in the life.
You said marine engineer. Have you inquired of what requires to be a marine engineer?
First, we need like MPC in intermediate, and then it's our wish we can take BITSAT or AIEEE. Then after that exams we can choose our thing, automobile engineer, all those sections are there. In that, after that, marine engineer is like full with the Navy. There are 5 ranks starting from corporal to captain. Promotions with that.
Okay, no, don't talk about the ranks. I mean, what goes into being a marine engineer? I'm asking.
like what I like in that.
You should be knowing. You should tell me. I'm not a marine engineer.
Ah,
You want
that's
to be
it.
a marine engineer. What goes into becoming a marine engineer? You should tell me.
Like what do I like in that, or
No. What goes? Why you took marine engineering?
Why?
You want to become a marine engineer, if not a footballer.
Yeah.
Right?
Secondary option.
So, I mean, you took that decision, right? You're very much fine with it.
Yeah.
If not that, this is there. Backup
Yes.
is there.
Yes.
What goes into becoming a marine engineer?
Because I like seas, oceans, and traveling. I like a lot. I love traveling. And in engineering, I find that staying in one place, like software engineer, you just have to sit and no activities there. Usually I'm a little hyper, so I don't like staying in one place. So I thought that marine engineer, we get to see new places. The work is later, because the work, if we do our studies well, this thing, work follows. But enjoy, the pleasure we get by doing that job is first.
Okay, now you said new places. I'll tell you one situation now. Suppose you're you're captain of one big vessel. Okay, you heard about the company NAERS King?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, it is the biggest. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's one of the biggest ships in the world, 4 times the size of Titanic. Okay, so you're the captain of that ship. Now you're supposed to travel goods from India to some other country. Time of travel is supposed to, because of the distance and all, is supposed to understand 1 month. 1 month you're not going anywhere. You're in the sea. What new you're seeing? You see front, there is water. You see back, there is water. You see left, right, there is water. Up above, there is a sky.
That's the
At
challenge.
times,
You need patience.
you said new places. What is new in that? You see just water everywhere.
But we'll have that pleasure that we are going to see something new after the 1 month.
After that 1 month, that is more important. Good, thank you. Avantika Yash from Aryabhatta High School.
Good morning to my dear friends and respected judges. I am Avantika Yash of 8th standard, studying in Aryabhatta High School, and today's topic is self-mastery. Self-mastery is a far greater possession than all the earthly goods. Self-mastery means mastery on ourselves, mastery on each and every organ of our body, mastery on each and every word spoken out by us, mastery on each and every action. But unfortunately, we find very few person who has conquered self-mastery. To conquer self-mastery, we should have conscious possession on ourselves, and if we did not have it, we will be thrown out of balance by anger, grief and hatred. Anger is such an obsession. It is very ugly thing in life. It disfigures a person, and so we should learn to control it. Next thing is that control on our body and mind. Just our mind demands a lot of facilities and comforts, and we give it. Our body too requires a lot of facilities, and we give it. But we don't know that by doing this all things, we are harming ourselves. Later, it becomes a poison to us, and it may destroy our future also. So to keep control on our body and mind, we need to be disciplined, and we should teach our body and mind to be reasonable. And next thing is that conquest on our lower natures. A person should be lovable and pleasant and kind towards all. And usually we'll observe in wars that after killing many people, a person is called as a victor. But how he can be called as a victor when he has killed many people? It's not in the part of self-mastery. This type of feeling comes when we have conquered self-mastery. And then next thing is that to conserve our energies. And how we can conserve our energies? We can't conserve our energies by overworking or stopping work. Stopping work just. But by finding balance in all our activities. Usually many people, they go on talking unnecessarily, and they waste their energy. And usually we all have some automatic physical actions that while sitting silently also, that a part of our body always moves. That is called automatic physical action, and in that also we waste a lot of energy. The last and but not the least is that self-help and self-surrender. Self-help means we should not depend upon others and we should always do our work with our own. And self-surrender means always we should surrender ourselves to the Supreme God. And, with self-surrender, we should remember self-help also. We should discharge all our duties. Thank you.
Avantika, tell me, what is the good strengths that you have? Your strengths and weaknesses, 3 of them. 1, 3 here, 3 there.
First, my strength is that I'll just, by seeing someone crying or someone in a very bad situation, I get a strong feeling that I have to do something for them. That is first one. Second one is that I always I like to speak. I like to speak with others and communicate with others on topics, social topics.
These are people.
Communicate with people on social topics.
Okay. Third?
And third,
weaknesses.
my first weakness is that very quickly I'll feel nervous, and second is that I'm so sensitive, as I said before, that I get the feeling. But before getting that feeling, I want to cry that why it's happening and it should not happen. And third weakness
So
is that
sensitiveness you consider it as a strength and also weakness.
yes.
What's the third weakness?
And third weakness is that
Okay, thank you.
In the speech, you have mentioned the word reasonable. We should be reasonable about our body, mind, these things. What is meant by reasonable?
reasonable means we should just, as I said that we should teach our mind and body to be reasonable. Reasonable means we should not teach our body and mind to we should not increase our thoughts. There should be a limit for it. And reasonableness, we should make our body and mind to understand a reason for what we want. Like
our mind can understand, isn't it?
We
Reason.
can-
How our body will understand reason?
how if our mind can understand, then by physical actions also sometimes not many times we do wrong. But if our mind is trained, then our body is good.
Okay, another question. All of our friends have gone for one party. They are serving. Why madam is talking all the time, chocolates, food, don't think like that. Okay? See, they are serving sweets. And then there are only limited sweets. One sweet per participant. And then you are 100, only 100 sweets are there. And then nobody was there. Instruction was given. And that sweet is a very favorite sweet for you. Then what you and your friends will do? Nobody is there to check. The others are there in a queue, and then you are supposed to go and then take. Then your share is 1, but no check is there. What you will do?
I will never take it.
You will never take it. Your friends tell also. It is
No,
very favorite.
No, because my parents did not give me this type of teachings to take someone's. If it's someone's, we can't take it. It's not correct to take someone's
Share.
share.
You told being reasonable because you stressed on that word reasonable a lot, and then you made a statement of this war and killings and all. Someone goes to a war, someone wins the war. What is so happy to be, so good to feel good about that you won a war, right? You said that statement that it is not a victory, according to you. Is that reasonable according to you? Someone comes and attacks you, you don't defend yourself, saying that I'll be reasonable, I'll not defend myself, and I'll not hurt that person. If he gets hurt, if he
It
starts
depends upon the situation.
situation.
Just if
War and-
someone getting to attacked on me, then it's human tendency that they will return. They too will And
No, but you said reasonable. You should, according to you, war, fighting, all.
I said those words about war, and this I'm saying about daily life.
Daily life. Suppose war was a part of daily life in the World War. What about that?
That time, just how when British were ruling India, how Gandhiji he did satyagraha. I too would like to do. I too would like to do that.
Okay, so in the present day, when someone slaps you, you put forward the second cheek. Good, thank you. Next, we have CH Alekhya from K.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Alekhya from KB number 1 Uppal, and I would like to speak a few words about self-mastery. So first of all, let us start with the example of Shakespeare's greatest tragedy, Macbeth. Now, in this story, there is the greatest warrior, Macbeth, who was a very loyal servant, had killed his own king out of his lust for kingship. So, but after this assassination, he faced terrible internal conflict. He could not rest. His soul continuously tortured him, and in the end, he ultimately died in the hands of a mere ordinary soldier. So, this very well establishes that under the influence of any uncontrolled emotion, a person may do something which he will always regret. That is, he will do the very thing, he knows that it is destructive, but he does this very thing he knows to be destructive. So, so under the influence of such uncontrolled emotions, man goes into a hustle bustle, he becomes thither and thither. So in this way, Macbeth had been ultimately destroyed out of his lust. So, does it mean that the whole humanity will come under the influence of all such petty emotions? Do we have no choice to see that we have any other alternative? Does it mean that we are always led by only emotions? No, it is not. There is a way so that we can control our emotions, and that is self-mastery. Now the question arises, what is self-mastery after all? It is climbing the summit within. Knowing yourself fully is called self-mastery. That is, you know your weaknesses, you know your strengths, and in that way, you master yourself, you know more about yourself. So that in that way, when you are then Kalidasa says about self-mastery, Kalidasa says, Vikarahitau sativikriyante yesham nachetam sitaeva dhiraha. Sthita prajna, that is a balanced person, is the one who is not influenced by joy or grief and is free from all kinds of emotions. Even Bhagavad Gita emphasizes the same. So this person who is a Sthita prajna is not influenced by joy or grief and is free of all his emotions. Now, Arjuna got a doubt when Sri Krishna told to him that how do we become masters of ourselves? How do we master ourselves? Sri Krishna said, Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena chakruhyatam. That means Sri Krishna says that, oh mighty Arjuna, yes, the mind is fickle. It is hard to control, but when you practice and when you practice a lot, then the fickle mind can be curbed. So practice is the main thing which we need to master ourselves. So self-mastery is the best thing we can do to win. So let us practice from now on so that we can become masters of ourselves, and then as Mahabharata says, you can rule the world. So let us practice and become masters of ourselves.
Thank you. Yeah, is an emotional thought, is it good or bad?
In what sense? Whether it is right or wrong?
That's a good answer. Thank you. You gave a right answer.
It is told that Sthita Prajna means free of emotions. Means one should not have any emotions when they face any situation.
I don't mean that. Sthita Prajna means the one who is not influenced by these emotions. That is, if he is losing in some losing in some competition, he should not be depressed, and if he is winning, he should not be overexcited. He is same in all kinds of situations. But that does not mean that he's becoming hard-hearted, he does not have emotions at all and all that. He's melancholy, not all that. That is, he is able to understand those emotions and then try to keep them in control. He can curb those emotions.
Any situation in your life controlling the emotions?
Well, I control my emotions.
Yeah, whether it is positive or negative.
I had recently done a project in National Children's Science Congress. So it was a cluster level competition, no, regional level competition. So I had worked for it for 2 months, and suddenly a person came saying that 2 persons cannot be in the same project, so you should not present your topic. So my first impulse was to cry or get desperate, going around searching for my teacher, why is it happening, all that. But I thought that doing all this, it does not pay me anything. So what I did was I went to my escort teacher, got the doubt clarified, saying that the second person was doing some other under some other title, and that I was the one eligible. So the teacher knew his mistake and then corrected it.
You just now said that when you were telling about the incident, you told the teacher that you were more eligible.
No. It was actually someone else was sitting in under my topic, thinking that he was under some other topic. He thought that it was his and occupied my place. And the teacher also thought that he was the one who is doing this project.
Okay.
So he said.
So Alekhya, define service.
Service. Service of
Okay, give the definition. What do you think is service?
Service is helping others in the way which we can helping others in every way possible. In ways which we can help them.
You also made a statement in the beginning that you should not be so emotional and like that. You should not flow away with the emotions. But for being to do service, emotion is the most important criteria.
But having emotions doesn't mean that you will be governed by emotions. As soon as something happens that is very tragic, you go on crying and all that. No?
But service also requires that. No? So you find someone, badly hurt. Okay.
So serving, then if someone is badly hurt, what is the need? What is the need from? What is the use if I cry for them?
Don't you think it will give a little bit of pain in your heart that why did this thing happen to him or something?
But
like
having that,
no pain and just go and serve.
But having that pain won't help that person. Na? I have to go to him. I have to heal. I have to give him first aid. Take him to the doctor. Simply by feeling an emotion, yes, he's hurt. Oh my God, what can I do? I cannot. Just by feeling that pain, I cannot help that person.
Good. Thank you.
Good morning to one and all. I am Divesh of class 9 from Chinmaya Vidyalaya, and I am here to speak about the topic self-mastery. First, when we hear the word self-mastery, what do we think self-mastery is? That mastery in studies, in excelling in sports and others. No, self-mastery means what is that? What do we understand ourselves? Our weakness, our strengths, do we master in them? Can we do that or can't we do that? Mastery, the main thing is that mastery. We can understand what's going on about us and what our world is. And we should understand how can we do this or that. And even according to mastery, that you have to get perfect in that. Suppose if I was a leader of a group, the group, we are not a good players and we are just not good in that. But we have to win that. So we have to have a teamwork for that, and for that the leader must know what is his strengths and his teammates, and he should understand that. That is also known as a mastery. And where he comes as man has his friend and foe. Man's thought makes him his friend and an enemy of him and others. A man's good thought makes him a good leader, and a bad thought makes him a bad leader. For example, if I have a good thought that I want to do some donation or what, but I am not able to do, because something bad thought which I have in my mind is stopping. That why should I donate for them? Why should I do it for them? But we should not talk, because even big great people say donation is not something. Donation is something great. But not donating and keeping it for yourself is greedy, which is also bad for you. And coming about control of body and mind. If we have control on our mind, we have control on our thoughts. And we have good thinking. So we will do good things. And about our body. body is controlled by mind. Body is nothing, it's just external. Like how I'm in front of you, I'm just showing and expressing it through you, my body. But mind is what? Mind is originally something from inside, which is expressed by body. So body has no role in our life. It's just used to express. And coming about self-help and self-surrender. Self-help means when we are in a problem, can we help ourselves? We can help ourselves, but we should have something inside us which can motivate us, like elders' seekings and blessings from them and thoughts of great leaders. Like we must, as Swamiji says, and some people says, nothing is impossible, because impossible itself says I am impossible. I and M in front of impossible shows that I am possible. Thank you, Hari Om.
Okay, Divesh, right?
Yes.
Okay, Divesh, suppose you want to do a work. How to do work is important, or why to do that work is important?
How to do and why to do both is important.
Which is first?
Huh?
Which is first?
Why to do, how to do?
Which one is first?
According to you first. According to me, why or how, both are important. Both you have to think at once, because we can't select anyone. If we select both only, then only we can do our work.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How can you certify that, elaborate that? Because I feel why is important than how.
Why is important means why it's our feeling why, but how it's we think how to do it. How?
Let me explain. Suppose you want to give some donation. Giving donation is going there and giving something that you have. That is how. But more than that, why I should donate it is, I feel, is more important than how to give it. How to give it is just use your hand and give it.
Yeah.
But why I should give it?
Why should I give it means it's a state of mind where we feel happy to give others.
That's what I'm telling you. How is important or why is important? Which is important? Which is the first thing to be thought to do a particular work?
Why? Means according to now the question.
For example, after this class you will go home.
Yeah.
You know how to go home. But if you don't know why to go home, you won't go home. Am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then in your speech you told that body is to express mind and thoughts. Just for that only our body is required? Body control, body management?
No, but as now body is used to express commonly. But it's even used to do some external works and all. But according to me, I just thought, means now according to the topic I just came on. I just said it from my mind, whatever came off I just said. Means exactly I didn't prepare. I just studied the book and came out and said on the stage. So what I understood from the book I just said off.
Then what do you really think?
About
self-mastery.
Self-mastery means is what just, it's not about you, but make yourself perfect and work on to make even others perfect with you.
Self-mastery.
Self-mastery means making me perfect. It's the topic that I have to have control on my mind, my mind and body, what should I do and how to do and at which situation shall I be. That's what I understood from the book. But again I'm trying to understand more because it's a bit complex, because I didn't come across all these things because in my childhood I just used to live simply. I used to just stay silent, just listen in the class, stay aside till my childhood. Now when I'm growing up, I'm coming to know the world. So it will take time to understand what is the world and what is the topics of it. Like self-mastery they said, and again they said culture, social, economics and all that. It will take time for us to understand. So that time taken for us to understand, if we will understand it by the time which we need, so we can implement them.
You still need time to understand what is self-mastery.
No, actually I don't need time, but according to the book what I understood I said you.
Okay.
Your point is also right, that I need to understand.
So you just told what you understood in this book.
And we should implement this in our life. But there are more things from this book which we have to understand and implement in our life.
Good, thank you.
Namaskar and a cheerful afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Fahim Siddiqui of Sister Nivedita School, standing before you to tell you my opinion. That is, what I opine after reading the book, so-called Self-Mastery. Well, for the first, I would like to say that I have not assumed this book as a book, but I would just say it as a piece of fine art, because I assume this book as an essay which delivers the message of moral values to us, making use of simple literature. So the first thing is that. And the second thing is, let me ask you a few questions, like Why are we over here? I'm talking, you're listening, the judges are judging me. What's the reason for us being in Ramakrishna Math today, right now, and you know, the previous rounds as well? The reason is very simple. The reason is for the development, reason for divinity, reason so that we develop ourselves, and that's the reason we are polished, we are groomed, so that we convert the hidden talents, the hidden aspects within ourselves to bright and to enlighten the lives. And moreover, we are Indians, and Indians are truly known for their culture as well as the assets of moral values. The second thing, what are we all? Like, for example, I ask you a question, who are you? I ask the judges, who are you? I ask myself, who am I? We would reply in this way that we are a son, daughter, I'm a student, I'm a professor, and the list goes on. But then the actual definition might be something like this. You're not actually a mass with definite lining, but then you're a creature with infinite power. You can change the world. You please pay attention on my statement. You are a creature of changing minds. You are a creature of changing emotions. Because as people have talked about different desires and different aspects, and it's the human tendency. We do not have complete control on ourselves, and that's the reason why we we are tempted. And we are tempted. And to make this more clear to you, I would just like to give you a small incident example. It was really a very good example given to me by my grandmother. She had personified the nature. It was just an incident when I was standing with my grandmom on the top of terrace of my villa, and she just stated this. For example, we all are over here, okay? And imagine that we do not have the ceiling or the roof up. What would you see? Obviously, you would see the sky, right? And what is the sky? It consists of the background, which is blue in color, as well as the clouds. Now, just imagine and personify it and connect it to our lives. The sky is our conduct. The sky is our character, which is nevertheless changing. You see, right? The blue color always remains, whereas the clouds move. The clouds are like the thoughts, the actions which you do. So this is a very good example, and she has also quoted that, nevertheless make promises when you are happy, and nevertheless declare challenges when you are angry, because you never know, you may regret for it about it later. You may not complete that aspect, you may not fulfill the needs of people which you have promised to them earlier. And the thing is that self-control, you need not have the feeling of jealousy and negative pride. Take positive pride within yourselves. Have positive pride. Whenever someone embarrasses you, criticizes you, take it in a positive sense and try to work on it. And moreover, keep what I suggest is keep a person around you who is your enemy or who.
Actually, I didn't see the words in it away. Okay, thank you. I'll give you two things. You know, self-help and helping others. Which comes first?
Self-help?
Self-help, that is, I want to help myself first. Yeah. And I want to help others first. Which is the first one?
First thing is first help. Helping yourself, because when you help yourself, only then you can help others. And for this, I would also like to say something that when you keep a person around you who always takes out your faults, that's better, because if he takes your out your faults, then you may know what are your faults and you may work on it. So if you keep a person.
So you have mentioned about changing thoughts and then changing emotions. What does it mean?
Changing thoughts in the sense. We have different ideas in our mind, and they clash. So when they clash, just like the clouds, rain comes down, tears roll out of our eyes. So after that we have a bright sunshine. So once all the doubts and such sorts of things are clear from our mind, the negative aspects, you have a bright sunshine. That is, you have enlightenment. You have developed that qualities within yourself.
Okay. Changing thoughts means one should continuously change their thoughts?
No, it's the human tendency, You may think something now, and afterwards you may think something else. But this is human tendency. But then thoughts also consist of negative as well as positive things, positive aspects. So if you work on it and you choose the best, like you have many ideas, you choose the best idea, then definitely you may, work on it. And
then what about changing emotions then?
Changing emotions as well has a main aspect over here, because time to time, according to the situation, our emotions changes, and we need to have a control on them as well, so that we are not too sensitive and not too bold as well.
You gave the statement that you should always have someone criticizing you. You should always keep them with you. But what do you do if they over criticize you?
It doesn't mean anything, because
I mean, don't you think that person will be demotivating you every time you do something or you do something good?
Then you need to take it in a positive sense.
How will you take it in a positive sense when that fellow is
For
always
example,
demotivating you?
any of my friends say that my speech was not good, so I just look after like what went wrong in my speech.
What if that friend is telling you every time when you come and speak?
Okay, till the time being, you think that
they'll be at one breaking point. There's one critical point you reach, and after that you'll stop listening. Because everybody who comes here tells that I'll always have a critic beside me who tells me what my mistake is. But do you think that is really possible in the real world?
No, it's actually not possible. As well
Every
as
time
I
you
would
keep
like,
listening to your mistakes from somebody, though you know that sometimes, okay, mistake one or times happen, but not every time, right?
See, by that time we develop that qualities within ourselves. As someone has said, I'm really sorry, but I will oppose that point. Self-discipline, okay? When we develop good qualities in ourselves, we need to crush down the bad qualities. But then we do not realize, if we just crush down, throw them out, we do not realize about those bad qualities and also how to cure when they develop in some other person. So by that time, as you said, if that person at a break, he criticizes us a lot and demotivates us at every stage, then we can change that person. Because by that time, we change. Thank you.
Good morning to everyone present here. I am Faiz and I am here to speak what I have understood by self-mastery. Having achieved self-mastery is to be guided by a reason, impelled by truth, and freed from the tyranny of the ignorance, selfishness, and fear. It denotes truthfulness, friendliness, and humble service. Well, when I read the book, the 2 points that came in my mind which are important was self-control and self-discipline. Well, according to me, self-control is when you control your desires, not in like desires and your temptations, not the good ones, maybe the bad ones which may not be good to you but bad for others. And it is we need to control our feelings as well. The most we are always impulsive, most of us, and the most common one is anger. It is always we try to go violent, and when we ask the person when he is cooled down, he says it was just spontaneous. Well, that spontaneous feeling shouldn't come, and when you're somewhere fingertips away from your success, and just moments of not having mastery on yourself may just result in undoing all the good stuff you've done to just come near the success. The second thing is adjusting in every surrounding. I've heard this from a very experienced person that my whole life I've tried to become like not like a solid but as a liquid. Because liquid, if you keep it in whichever container, it takes its shape. So in that way, we should try to adjust with people and your surroundings. Because self-mastery, like even in different surroundings, you will always depend on your inner self and you will be independent. And that's all for today. Thank you.
Yeah. It's a wonderful statement I too heard. Be like a liquid. Okay. But who chooses the container? Is the person who's like a liquid chooses the container, or he adjusts in whatever container is available? What do you prefer?
He should adjust in whatever container is preferable, because in life you don't get the surroundings which we want. So we should always be ready to adapt any kind of surroundings.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Is it what exactly the statement mean? What you heard?
According to me, I guess.
I want you to go back and listen to this eminent person one more time. Maybe ask the person who taught you this to teach you completely. Okay.
So, if at all we have to control emotions, okay? First, one should be aware of one's own emotions, isn't it? So, what emotions you are having more prominently to be controlled?
Mine is anger, I guess, because I get angry really soon, and I had a fight in my class recently. And but when I read the book, I just understood that being angry does not control the situation. So I'm working on it to just control my anger.
So what measures you take to control your anger?
I just try to go away from that place or just stay quiet, and then maybe I may indulge into activity which I like, maybe drawing or watching TV, so that I can cool down. And the counting 1, 2, 3, as sir said, it does not affect me.
Okay, every time whenever it happens, you will go out of that situation and then you will calm down.
Yeah.
Is it okay, or do you want to try some other means to control your emotions?
For now, I guess that's good.
Faiz, what do you think is more important to a person? Achieving his goals, or or achieving his desires? What is more important, long-term goals or short-term goals? Long-term goals or short-term goals?
I mean, the long-term goals as in which you need to wait for a long time to achieve it?
Of course, that is what is long-term goal.
So I guess long-term will be kind of better, because we know that sabar ka phal meetha hota hai. So in that way, that's good.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one.
Just one.
Hi, my name is Jashwant. I am from Chinmaya Vidyalaya, studying in 9th standard. To achieve great heights and come out with flying colors is the aim of everyone. But what is this aim? Actually, the aim is not to become an engineer, a doctor, or a scientist, but it's actually discovering yourself. As Swami Vivekananda has said, arise, awake, and know your strength. The strength is all. Strength is life. Without strength, there's nothing possible. Education, coming to this point, now education is not like reading books and writing the exam. Education is something which develops our character and sharpens our intellect. This kind of education is correct for everyone nowadays. The mind sometimes opposes us, but because of some reasons, due to anger, hatred, and anything else, we get into trouble. And when we get into trouble, we don't feel like doing anything properly. When we don't feel like doing anything properly, we just come into a dilemma whether what is good or what is bad. But actually, we don't understand what is good and what is bad. So, it's like you have to think about it, and you have to what I just wanted to say is, just realize your potential, recognize your mistakes, rectify them, move forward, and achieve your goal, and it is yourselves.
Okay, what's your purpose? You said like it's not just becoming a doctor or engineer, but it is more than realizing your own self. Have you made any attempt? Are you making any attempt to do that? And what is it?
Yeah, actually, discovering ourselves makes us know what we are.
Are you making any attempt to discover yourself?
Yeah.
What is it? Right now, what you are doing, you tell. Don't tell something in the book. If you are doing something right now, do it. Tell me. Otherwise, you can say no also. You're open. You can tell anything.
What I'm thinking to do.
So you said the object of the life is not to become a doctor or engineer, but to realize yourself.
Yeah.
Now, are you making any attempt to do that?
Yeah.
What is it?
I actually am realizing myself, why do I get anger so fast?
What is that act that you are doing to realize yourself today? Nowadays, right now. Maybe tomorrow what you will do, yesterday what you did.
Thinking.
What?
Thinking in what way I'm bad and what way I'm good.
Okay. And what else? You're able to realize it by this thought?
Yeah, somewhat.
And then you have mentioned about how education should be.
Yeah.
Are you getting
Yeah.
the type of education you mentioned in your speech?
Yes.
Where?
Actually, our school is very good because it teaches about moral values and it tells us how a person should lead his life. So it's like they exactly give importance to education and equally they give it to the values.
Are you implementing the same in your life?
Yes.
One example, please.
Actually, a few months ago, I've seen a child, means he's a beggar. Actually, he didn't have proper clothes. So actually, the clothes which I had, which I'm not using them, I had given him. So actually, this type of recognition came to me from my school.
Why did you give a cloth to a child if you are not using them?
Because actually, they have become short to me. I'm growing day by day.
How can I bought new clothes for it? Just one. What is your aim? What do you want to become?
Actually, I don't know it. I just feel like becoming a badminton player, but due to some problems, I don't think I can become.
What is the problem?
I can't actually manage my sports with my studies.
Get up early in the morning.
No, getting up is not a big problem for me.
Because I'm a badminton player too.
Oh.
And I don't think it does come in between.
Actually, spending more time in sports is like...
Who's asking to spend more time in sports?
It's obvious, no sir.
Okay, I'll ask you one thing. What is the best way to play badminton? If you don't have anyone, how will you play badminton without having any other opponent in front of you?
Ball practice.
Yes, good. Thank you.
Thank
you. Jayan from Chinmaya. Quick. We're running short of time.
Welcome to one and all present here. I'm Jayanth Maholkar from Chinmaya Vidyalaya. So, what I really feel a person should be to be actually cultured or educated is, first he must be truthful. For each and everything in this world, there's only one single truth. I mean, see, if, for example, if anybody asks you what is 2 plus 2, you say it's 4, but then you may say it's 3.5, 4, 3.5, 4.5, 5 or 6 or 7, but the answer is only 4, right? In the same way, every circumstance in our daily life has only one truth, which should be followed by us. And secondly comes the goal of achieving the ultimate God or the power, which is actually derived or given by the great religions. Because what I feel is all the religions, though the cultures are different, but the main aim is the same, that is to serve the mankind. Though the spiritual proceedings of the different religions may be different, but the aim is to serve the mankind, which should be followed. And then third comes, question each and everything what you are doing right now. Because see, whatever you do, why should you do that? You should first question, why am I doing that now? Before coming to the stage, even I questioned this. Why am I going to the stage now? I felt, because till last year, I was really scared to come in front of even 10 members in my class, and I would really, just cry because I'm not able to talk in front of everybody. But once I started coming on the stage, I got to know that I'm gaining the confidence to talk in front of many of you. So I question each and everything. I mean, we should question each and everything. Why are we doing that right now? Why should we do, and what will we get from that? And if we just follow all these things, what I feel is it's equal to gaining the salvation what our great sages have undergone these many years, and then I really feel that we should follow the great customs given by them. And Hariom, thank you.
Okay, see, let me give you a small situation. So, you believe in God?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say your favorite God, you've thought of doing something today. Okay, Mukkubadi you call it as. Okay, at about 12 o'clock you have to go to the temple or whatever religious place and perform a ritual there, which you already decided that you have some that we call Mukkubadi. Yeah? Do that. At the same time, somebody next door to you, there was a small accident and somebody expired, and they want some help. So which one you choose?
I choose to help because the main aim of the religion is to serve the mankind.
What are the other means of realization of God? You have mentioned the goal is the realization of God.
Yeah.
As 10th class student or high school student. Yeah. So what means you select?
Yeah, so in our school, we have, many pujas and all. While doing that, I just try to understand why are we putting, for example, why are we offering the flowers, and then if why do we sprinkle water and all. They all again relate to the science. For example, before eating, actually we sprinkle water around our plate. If we go a bit scientifical and logical, because the dust, before we used to sit on the land and eat, right? So the scientific reason behind that is
why we should do puja.
Yeah.
What is the means to realize God? God realization is the goal you mentioned.
Yeah. First go and first listen to the preachings of great gurus and great teachers, and then try to understand and relate it with the things which we see in our day-to-day lives. We can.
You were more stressing on the question why to do it, why should we do it, and you were stressing more on that. Don't you think if you stress too much on why, sometimes you'll miss the train?
Actually, that why, so you mean to say that
there's a situation where you don't have time to think on what you have to do or why do you have to do, what will you do then?
Means what's the next situation? I should go and catch the train, right?
No, it's not been meaning that way. I'm catching the train. I meant it that if you think so much that why you're supposed to do it, you'll miss some other opportunity.
Yeah, just think that we want to go somewhere, and while walking can think rather than thinking of all movies and all.
I'm telling. What I'm trying to tell is that if you think so much, okay, why, and there's a situation where you don't have time to think why, what will you do then?
Yeah, so the opportunity which you mean to say is physical.
Simple. I know if you want to catch a train, as you told, catching a train, I'll give you example of train only.
Yeah.
You're late and the train is about to leave in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You don't have a ticket. You will go in the train or go to the queue for buying a ticket?
See, what I mean to say is why what we do, we think is all physical work, right? And why thinking is not related to physical.
Tell him conduct instead what will you do.
That's what the train is going.
Yeah.
You are supposed either you're late to this platform. Okay. Now you will catch the train or stand in the queue to buy the ticket. I just want the answer for that.
Standing in the queue is a legal method. Catching the train is an emotional thing. You have to go.
You have to go. There is no other train for the next 3-4 days, and you're supposed to reach the very next day.
Yeah. Depending on the situation, why do you want to go there?
This is the situation.
Why do we want